Yo, what's going on, YouTube? My name's Troy, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made the beat for by Xanman.
TROYVIXIOUS. Did that bitch come with the switch, That nigga shooting, he miss, She is wanna be lit, Breaking back and match your fit,
Sorry about my voice. I have really bad allergies right now, and that's why I sound super stuffy and congested. But before I break down the beat, I want to give a little backstory about how the song came together. So this beat was just another beat on my YouTube channel, and either Xanman himself or someone from his team found it, and they downloaded it off of YouTube and recorded to it, and that's how the song came together. It's as simple as that. So anyways, let's get into how I made the beat. Alright, so I'm here in the Ableton session. I'm going to start by playing the melody all together first. As you can see, it's very simple, but it's got a nice catchy vibe to it, especially with the lead. I started off with this Wurlitzer patch from Keyscape called the Wurlitzer 200A Mellow Noise, and that sounds like this by itself. And a funny thing about this beat actually is I made it live on stream a few months ago. I made this beat and another beat on the very first live stream I did, and both of those beats actually went on to become really big on my channel. So it's just crazy that he ended up using one of these songs and I actually had it recorded. If you guys go back on my channel, you can actually go back and find the exact live stream where I made this beat. And I remember before the live stream started, I already had this MIDI made that I just put together real quick before, so I'd have something to start off with, just in case I got like stage fright or something and couldn't come up with anything. As you can see, it's just 4 simple chords with a bunch of passing notes in between, and we're in the key of C sharp minor, and I'm gonna kind of break down the chords using a little bit of music theory and the numeral system. If you don't know what that means, that's fine. I'll make a video about that in the future, but it's kind of just basic music theory and how to communicate different chord progressions to other musicians. So we start off on the 6th chord in the scale and we go down to the 5th, and then from there we go to the root note, the C sharp, and then we go to the F sharp, which is the 4th of the scale, and then we go back up to the 5th and it repeats. And then I just threw in random notes in between for passing. As you can see, I put the velocity down on them so they don't play as hard as the main chords. And then the next thing I did is I went to Purity and I pulled up the Ever preset. It's under arpeggios, and I just dragged the MIDI down to the preset, and that's what it sounds like. So yeah, that just added an extra layer on top of the piano. Since it's arpeggio, it adds a little bit more movement and rhythm without having to add any more notes. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're adding layers. Try messing around with different arpeggios. I especially like the ones in Purity. They go really good with any kind of plug and beat type of sound. Like there's a lot of iconic ones from Purity. And then for additional processing, I added a little bit of EQ. It looks like I just cut out the lows and cut some of the mids out and boosted a little bit of the upper mids. Nothing too crazy. And then I added this plugin called Wider. So what this plugin does is it makes your sound wider while still keeping it mono compatible. So no matter what you're listening back to the sound on, it's going to sound good. And then the only other sound I added was this lead from Purity, just a simple sine lead. And I think this is the most iconic part of the beat. It's definitely the most catchy. So I'm going to play it by itself. So yeah, super simple. And I added no effects to it. I just had a halftime come in some parts of the beat, and this is what that sounds like. So yeah, all those melodies together, they're very simple, but it's very catchy, and it has a very cool vibe to it. And then going on to the 808, I use just the basic Zay 808, you know, the one you find everywhere. I mostly just followed the roots with some notes in between, and this is what that sounds like. That was the main pattern, and then I also had a second part where I added a change up in it, and that's what that sounds like. So yeah, it's all very simple. And then moving on to the drums, again, I kept it very simple. I used a lot of the Milanese drums, so it's got like that plug sound. And I think the other drums I used were from K Slime's kit. I use both those kits a lot. And this is what they sound like. Once again, very simple. I didn't do nothing too crazy here. I kept the balance extremely simple and just hitting on the right groove. And on the second half of the chorus, I just added an open hi-hat, which really brought the energy into it without having to add anything else. And then besides from that, I just added a few more effects. It looks like I added some reverse effects and some white noise effects. And all those really do is just emphasize the transitions and add a little bit of ear candy to make the beat interesting and not stale the entire time. And then at the end of the beat, I added just a slowed and reverb part, but they didn't even use that part in the song. What they did when they recorded on it, I think they just literally dragged the MP3 into whatever DAW they were using, and they chopped the beat around and messed with it a lot. So the arrangement of the beat that you hear on my YouTube channel is not the arrangement of the beat that they used, because they went in and did their own thing with it. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're making and posting beats online. You want to have a full arrangement so that the artist can just hop on and do nothing to it, but you want to keep in mind the possibility that they're going to go in and chop it up and even potentially buy track out so they can do their own custom arrangements. But yeah, that's how I made the beat for by Xanman. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you want to see. If you want to see me break down other types of beats or what kind of tutorials you want to see. And also don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'm going to keep these tutorials coming. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace. I'm serving that water in Florida while I saw the plug is a band for a Draco. I had a sawed off under the raincoat. Bitch one for me, she see me with Payno. We spin the wheel, they doing the game show. SRT is a new Dr. Rango.